Welcome back to my series, How to Eat Like a Parisian. Today I'm reviewing 5 real Parisian bistrots with a solid reputation, starting with a great budget option and going all the way to a refined old-school institution. Same city, same classic dishes, but very different prices. And I want to show my viewers how much more you can actually get when you spend more. I'll also show the average price of a starter, a main and dessert at each bistro, and I'll rate them on my usual 6 criteria. By the way, some of you noticed in one of my previous videos that a restaurant with beautiful decor could still score highly even if I didn't enjoy the food. So from now on, food will count double in my final rating, because well, we're here to eat. For each bistro, I calculated the average price of the starters, the mains, and the desserts, and the sum of these 3 figures allowed me to create a ranking from the cheapest to the most expensive, which is the order we'll follow in this video. Alright, let's start with the most affordable bistro of the day. Bistrot Victoires, the first on my list, is in the first arrondissement, a very convenient location if you're visiting the Louvre or the nearby Galerie Vivienne. Meters away from the beautiful Place des Victoires, the place was created in 1802, and today it's still one of the cheapest ways to enjoy real French cuisine in Paris. Apart from the bouillon, it's hard to find a proper bistro in this price range, and yet it constantly gets very good reviews. Don't be surprised when you go there. There's a good chance it will be packed with visitors from Asia. A few years ago, a Korean influencer filmed the place, and since then the word has spread across Eastern Asia that this is the bistro to try in Paris. The decor is classic Parisian bistro, with beveled mirrors, red leatherette banquettes, and marble tables. It has a very warm, lively atmosphere, which also means it can get noisy, especially at peak times. Ask for a menu in English and you'll find all the classic bistro dishes. Egg mayonnaise, snails, herring fillets, duck confit, the full traditional lineup. One thing I love about the wine list is that you can order nearly any wine by the glass or even a quarter-liter pitcher, which is perfect if you don't want a full bottle. Butter, bread, a carafe d'eau, and this strange little tool. I think you know where this is going. Yes, I'm having snails. And eating snails can be dangerous for your clothes. You need to hold the shell firmly so you can go in and get the meat with that tiny 2-prong fork. And even then, it can still be a real challenge to pull the little beast out of its shell. Don't assume all French people love snails. Many don't. I do, but let's be honest, the real star isn't the snail. It's the garlic herb butter it's swimming in. And here, they do them really well. The snails are genuinely delicious. When you're done with the snails, the tradition is to pour the leftover garlic butter onto your plate and mop it up with bread. It's insanely greasy, but what a treat! A glass of brouilly to wash away the garlic explosion, and I'm ready for my main. Their signature dish is the grilled rib steak, flavored with burnt thyme and served with proper homemade fries. The steak is good and cooked just the way I like it. but I'm not convinced the burn time brings much to this very classic entrecôte fries combo. With an entrecôte, I always choose béarnaise, or, when they have it, a good Meaux mustard, which I personally prefer to Dijon. For dessert, I'm going for the crispy banana with vanilla ice cream, but I asked to skip the chocolate sauce, as I'm not really a fan. €33.90 for a full dinner and a glass of wine, that's really reasonable. Bistrot Victoires is definitely a great bargain. In the end, Bistrot Victoire is hard to beat. Excellent value for money, friendly service, and a warm, lively atmosphere. No real drawbacks. The food is good, not outstanding, but solid enough for a 14. And with the final grade of 15.1 out of 20, it's a great choice if you're on a budget. Next on my list is a bistro mostly frequented by locals, even though it's right in a slightly touristy area. Bistrot Verdeau is located inside Passage Verdeau, one of Paris's beautiful covered galleries, which I showed in detail in the video linked here at the top of your screen. It actually has the same good ratings as Bistrot Victoires on both Google and TripAdvisor. When I come here, I usually try to sit out in the Passage as long as the weather cooperates. It can be cold out there. Inside is okay, but it does feel a bit cramped. The menu is full of classic bistro dishes, and the great thing here is the lunch formula, 2 courses for just €17. Every day, there's a different plat du jour, a dish of the day at €14, which is great for people who work nearby and come here regularly for lunch. Wine is available by the glass, by 2 glasses, by the half liter, or by the bottle. They also serve soft drinks and a selection of 5 beers, which is ideal for someone like me who rarely has wine at lunchtime. One thing Parisians love, and I'm no exception, is people watching. And what a perfect place for that. Is there anything more bistro than eggs mayonnaise? And these ones are excellent, topped with a delicious old-style mustard mayonnaise and side piquillos. The eggs were excellent, and for my main I picked the plat du jour, veal kidneys with a mushroom and mustard sauce. They didn't exactly spend time on the presentation, but honestly, it's what on the plate that matters. The kidneys were perfectly cooked, nice and rosé, and the sauce was genuinely delicious. Honestly, what's better than mopping up a delicious sauce with some baguette? I didn't film the bill, but I paid only 21 euros for a starter, a main and a beer, which is an excellent value for money. The food is simple, but really well done, and the place has a very local vibe. The only drawback is a faint greasy smell inside. Another reason for me to sit outside. With all that in mind, my final grade is 15 out of 20. Just a few steps from Métro Châtelet, Vieux Comptoir is a true Parisian gem, the kind of place you instantly want to recommend to your closest friends. And today, I'm thrilled to show it to you, because in 3 years of restaurant reviews for Paris Top Tips, this is by far my greatest discovery. And as the ratings on Google and TripAdvisor show, I'm definitely not the only one who loves this place. To me, it stands as the perfect traditional Parisian bistro, a testament to culinary pleasure and timeless charm. Excellence without pretension, that's what a great bistro should aim at, and that's the guiding principle of my host tonight. In the kitchen, Chef Cyril Bourlois crafts dishes with devotion using the freshest seasonal ingredients, while in a dining room, Anne Bourlois takes care of guests with a warmth that feels like a personal invitation into her own home. It's a cozy ambience, reminiscent of an intimate gathering, albeit with the delightful buzz of a bustling bistro adding to its enchantment. The menu at Vieux Comptoir follows the rhythm of the seasons, offering an array of delectable dishes that reflects the natural cycle. When I went there end of April, I could indulge in truly French delights, such as a homemade sausage served with creamy aligot, a whole veal kidney with mustard cream, or a shoulder of lamb for two, paired with coconut beans. As for dessert, let me tell you the one I had was truly unparalleled, a masterpiece among Parisian restaurants. And, as befits a good bistro, the wine list is extensive, boasting over 100 references, including some prestigious selections. Yet, the true joy often lies in the simple pleasure of sharing delightful carafes of wine, be it white, rosé or red, with our cherished friends. This napkin, neatly tucked into a napkin ring, truly adds a touch of home to the dining experience. Undoubtedly, the ambience in a bistro is lively and bustling, yet it's a noise we quickly acclimate to, becoming an integral part of the venue's charm. And when the owner serves you with a smile, it elevates the entire experience. So let's talk about the experience. Don't you find this pâté en croûte with foie gras extremely appetizing? It looks even better than the one I had at Le Train Bleu. It's served with pickles that are so yummy, you'll find yourself reaching for them in a jar, again and again. Absolutely delightful. My friend took pan-fried razor clams with cherry tomatoes, garlic, chilies and smoked ham, and she said it was excellent too. Not much left, and it'll soon disappear. For main, she treated herself to the famous homemade sausage of Vieux Comptoir, crafted from a blend of pork and cheddar and served alongside delectable aligot, a flavorful combination of mashed potatoes and cheese. Served by the owner herself, I indulge in the bœuf bourguignon, a classic dish of tender beef stewed in burgundy red wine, complemented by a medley of mushrooms, pearl onions and savory bacon. And while it may seem unconventional to request grainy mustard alongside a dish already enhanced with wine sauce, don't hesitate to do so. The addition of mustard can work wonders, especially when paired with this kind of meat, tantalizing your taste buds with a delightful burst of flavor. Despite the burgundy wine-enriched sauce of my dish, I opted for a lighter red wine from the Loire, specifically a Mentu Salon, to accompany both of our meals. Was it the food? Or maybe the wine? Who knows? But that night, I was having the time of my life. Yes, I know, my dessert doesn't seem appealing at first glance. Yet, even before I started tasting it, I knew it would be delicious. This organic rice pudding topped with salted butter caramel is absolutely divine, one of the best I've ever eaten in a Parisian restaurant. And the little fruit pastes that came with the bill too. Let's face it, the bill at Vieux Comptoir is on a different level compared to the first two bistrots. However, it's the cost of impeccable, flavorful and soul-refreshing cuisine, along with the most charming service you'll find in Paris. So, amazing food, perfect service, central location, and no downside at all. With 18 out of 20, my highest score ever on Paris Top Tips, Vieux Comptoir is simply an exceptional bistro. From the first arrondissement, we cross the Seine and make our way to the Latin Quarter, just opposite Jussieu University and the Institut du Monde Arabe. Au Moulin à Vent, the fourth bistro on our list, ticks every box of the classic Parisian bistro. Chalkboard menus, a zinc bar, wine bottles lining the walls. But judging by the prices, we're definitely in the high-end bistro league now. Just imagine, 43 euros for frog legs. The restaurant has almost the same ratings as Vieux Comptoir. Will I enjoy it as much? Let's find out. Good point, they do have a lunch formula at decent prices. But the dishes I want to try aren't included. They're only available à la carte, or should I say, à l'ardoise. The wine list is huge. Bottles go from 30 euros all the way to more than 1500s. So no, I'm not showing you the full 13 pages. I'm having lunch here with my daughter Charlotte today. First, a glass of Brouilly, a Beaujolais wine. Charlotte took the lunch formula, beginning with the carrot soup, which, in her own words, was super good. And once again, I went for a bistro classic, eggs mayonnaise. But not just any eggs mayonnaise, the one that won the 2024 World Championship of eggs mayonnaise. And they proudly have it displayed on their wall for everyone to see. And indeed, they were delicious with a creamy, velvety mayonnaise made with green mustard. A mayonnaise like this, you just have to mop it up. Then I went for the duck confit. It's a dish I usually enjoy, although I just had a not so great experience with it at Bouillon Chartier. But here, it was not dry at all, really tasty, and the mashed potatoes were excellent too. Charlotte, still on the lunch formula, chose the suprême de poulet sauce forestière. Lovely words that basically mean a chicken breast with mushroom sauce. She really enjoyed it as well. Well, teenagers do love simple things. Then she went for the profiterole au chocolat, and guess what? She liked that too. And for once, I didn't go for dessert. I treated myself to this excellent plate of cheeses instead. Brie de Meaux, Comté, and Saint-Nectaire, with some good baguette bread. Not counting the drinks, the bill came to 29 euros for Charlotte and 50 euros for me. We're clearly out of the budget bistro range now, but for Paris, these prices are still acceptable. Au Moulin à Vent offers good food, the eggs mayonnaise in particular, and there's really nothing to criticize. But when you compare it to Vieux Comptoir, which sits in the same price bracket, the experience doesn't quite reach the same heights. It's a solid bistro, one I'd gladly revisit if I were nearby, but not one I'd cross Paris for. My final grade is 15.9 out of 20. Our final bistro, and definitely the most expensive, is Chez Georges on Rue du Mail, located just on the other side of the superb Place des Victoires from Bistrot Victoires, our first bistro. Just be careful not to confuse it with Chez Georges in the 17th Arrondissement, another bistro, but not of the same quality. In summer, they are allowed by the city to set up tables on the small square to the left. But since it's December, we're going inside. Chez Georges has a solid reputation, so even at lunchtime you need a reservation, only by phone, or you have to come right at the beginning of the service, which is what I did. Good point, bread and butter are immediately served to keep you waiting. This is the menu in French, not the easiest to read, but it's the only place where you'll see the wines available by the glass. Fortunately, you can ask for a dual French-English menu. All the classic bistro dishes are there, but some of the prices, especially the mains, are really sky high. Here's the wine list for the bottles that aren't available by the glass. Here's a nice place to put your coat or your bag securely. I started with an œuf meurette, which is a poached egg in red wine sauce. Except here, you actually get 2 eggs. It's not a dish you'll find everywhere, but if you see it on the menu, give it a try. When it's well made, like here, it's absolutely delicious. I had a glass of red Chona, a Beaujolais wine. For my main, I picked their signature dish, the pavé du mail, a generous beef fillet with mustard cream and cognac sauce. It was a real delight, perfectly rare, just the way I like it. And the French fries were excellent. And my dessert, a Nil flottante, was excellent as well. I paid 79 euros just for my meal, by far the most expensive of these 5 bistrots, but it was clearly worth it. Chez Georges really impressed me. Excellent dishes, warm and efficient service, and a pleasant atmosphere that isn't too noisy. It's expensive, but honestly, it's worth it. My final grade is 16.6 out of 20. In conclusion, because I didn't choose identical dishes in every bistro, here are the average prices of starters, mains, and desserts for each one. So the price of a 3-course bistro meal goes from 28 euros at Bistrot Victoires all the way up to 68 euros at Chez Georges. And when it comes to the overall experience, there's a clear winner for me, Vieux Comptoir. Chez Georges takes second place, but it's too pricey to pretend to the top spot. Moulin Avant is a solid third, and while the 2 cheapest options both have respectable grades above 15, they simply can't compete, in my mind, with the 3 bistrots on the podium.